departure. IFR to Taipei.
Dynasty Tree 1, altimeter 299er tree. Cleared for takeoff, runway 08 right.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 08 right. Dynasty Tree 1.
Services terminated. Good day. Dynasty Tree 1, contact Vancouver departure on 126.125. Good day. Dynasty Tree 1, please acknowledge. Dynasty Tree 1, please acknowledge.
One 126.125 for Dynasty Tree 1.
I have to say, flying all the way from Vancouver, Canada, throughout British Columbia, all the way up to Alaska, Anchorage, it's got to be one of the most magnificent mountain ranges I've ever seen, dude. I mean, look at this. This is just like you can almost feel the God himself, like here. Honestly, you can feel the God presence here. That's how magnificent it is. Like, you guys should try it. Get this Cessna airplane, and you can go up to a pretty good high altitude. Not too high, but pretty good enough. Like, I don't know, like maybe 14,000 feet, which is more than enough. Or 15,000 feet. I'm sorry. And I gotta tell you, man, I gotta say, this has to be one of the most magnificent mountain ranges I've ever seen. Just go all the way from Pacific Northwest, Vancouver. Vancouver's right above Seattle. And all the way from Vancouver, go all the way up north to Anchorage, Alaska. And I'm telling you, look at this, man. This is like the most beautiful mountain ranges you'll ever see, man. Trust me. Is it better than Himalayas? Of course not. Himalayas are... But Himalayas are scary. Himalayas mountain range is scary, dude. Such a high altitude. You're talking 24,000 feet. 29,000 feet. Man, you're talking like where there's no oxygen. You're like breathing for air. So it's like it's too scary. To me, Himalayas are just too scary. Yeah, they're magnificent as well, sure. That's where Mount Everest is. But there's something about the British Columbia and Alaska. When you take this flight from Vancouver all the way throughout Pacific Northwest, British Columbia, and then all the way up to Alaska, Yukon. I mean, not Yukon. Well, Yukon's there too. Yukon's there as well. As soon as you pass Yukon, there's, is a Yukon province. So as soon as you pass Yukon province, you're almost in Alaska. And then you got, of course, Alaska border right there, American border, state. And you got Anchorage. If I'm not mistaken, it's Yukon, right? Yukon, and then after Yukon, you got... But yeah, British Columbia, Yukon, and then Alaska, Anchorage. Like, this flight, as you can see, is just magnificent, man. It's a... just... Like, you can feel the God presence. When you're flying here, it's so powerful, dude. It's beautiful. Like, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, Mount Everest is magnificent. I mean, don't get me wrong. Himalayas are magnificent. Rocky Mountains, Colorado, yeah, they're magnificent too. But there's something about British Columbia mountain range that's just so it's beautiful. Like, it's a beautiful sculptured mountain range. It looks beautiful. That's like the point I'm trying to make here. So anyway, that's all I wanted to say. I guess we're doing this on foot, huh? I guess we're doing this on foot. The altitude was too high. This airplane could only do, I think, about 15,000 feet. And we were reaching like close to 16,000, 17,000 feet. That's why I hit that peak of the mountain. Well, maybe we'll find the Sasquatch. Technically, you could actually run across the entire North America from, like, let's say Florida to Alaska. You could walk around like this. I don't know how long it would take you, but technically you could walk around, exit the airplane, just walk around from Florida to Alaska. I wonder how long it would take you. Why would anyone want to build a house here, middle of nowhere? I mean, you, dude, you can't even land an airplane here. I don't think helicopters can get up here. Maybe I don't know. Can they? Uh, Maybe an Osprey can go maybe a little bit higher altitude. Maybe Osprey. Okay, Osprey maybe, but that's a military helicopter. Uh, like, why would you want to? Do you know how hard was it, dude? If I was a search and rescue, do you know how even from a 14 for like 14,000 feet? Was it 14? It wasn't even 4. It was it 14,000 feet. Yeah, even from a 14,000 feet, I had a difficult time like trying to spot this object, whatever this was. Just like think about how difficult it was for me to spot this object, even from 14,000 feet, even during the daylight. Imagine how difficult it would be like to spot this object like during the night. But why would you want to build a house middle of nowhere here, dude? Like, I don't know, dude. I was like, what the hell is that? It's like, why would you build a house here, dude, middle of nowhere? Just why? I don't know. I don't know. People like to live middle of nowhere. Look, man, each to its own, you know. Some people want to be isolated. I don't blame them. I don't blame them, you know. But how you gonna survive, man? That's what I'm saying, dude. The harsh winters and how do you survive, dude? You know. That's what I'm saying, you know. You guys don't realize how harsh the winters are on this high altitude. You know, this is what 12,000 feet, 12,000 feet high altitude. Okay, that's some harsh snow, harsh winters, middle of nowhere, dude. I don't know. I don't know. This is British Columbia. We're not talking about upstate New York or upstate Pennsylvania. We're not talking like those small little elevations like North Carolina, right? Or Western North Carolina, right? Those are small elevations. The highest elevation I would say is Colorado would be, right? Rocky Mountains, but man, and some parts of Washington states. But dude, this is British Columbia, dude. We're talking 12,000 feet high altitude. And some of these peaks, they go up to like close to 14,000. Yeah, 14,000 feet. I don't know, dude. Look at this. Middle of nowhere. Like, why would you want to build? Maybe he communicates with aliens. I mean, if aliens want to communicate with a human, I think this would be the place. Honestly, so isolated, so far away. If an alien wants to communicate with a human, yeah, this would be like, all right, guys, this is the meeting. This is where aliens and humans have a discord. They're not going to have a discord 83 miles north of Las Vegas in Area 51. A lot of people think that the aliens, and no, they're not in Area 51. Stop it. They're not there. We might have crafts there that we're back engineering, for the new stealth fighters and whatnot. But I don't think you're going to find aliens there. They're not there. Trust me. Especially a live alien, it's not going to be there. I'm telling you. This is most likely where you're going to like have a meeting, a Discord. Like, okay, let's have a meeting, guys. We must have some kind of a partnership with them. We have to, dude. It's impossible all of these years after Cold War that we don't have any kind of partnership with them. I mean, come on, man. I'm sure there's some kind of a treaty with them. It has to be. Has to be. Now, proving that, that's a whole different ball game. Good luck with that, right? Good luck with that. But if you're going to have like a Discord conversation from another extraterrestrial being, from another universe, or from another, galaxy, This would be the place. Middle of nowhere, isolated. This would be it. Like, honestly, this would be the location. This would be the place of a meeting. And the question is, how do we know that it's not taking a place? Did you check every parts of British Columbia? Did you check every parts of Alaska? I don't think so. So, right? So there's a possibility. I'm just speculating. I don't know. Okay, I'm just speculating, but I'm saying this would be plausible if you're going to have if an alien from another, galaxy or another universe, it's bending time, it's traveling here. This would be probably the best isolated meeting. This would be the meeting. This would be the place to have a Discord meeting, talking, communicating in whichever way they communicate, telepathically, which most likely they are. And then they would have a Discord. They would have a conversation. There would be a meeting. Probably some 4-star generals from the Air Force, right? Or from the U.S. Navy or from the Air Force. Some high-ranking officials from Pentagon would be here. And they would be talking to these beings, And then, they would most likely, have a conversation and whatever. Exchange the technology in exchange for what, right? See, that's the scary part. All right, so they want something in return, okay? They're not going to come down here and have a conversation. They want something in return. But see, I think that's the secret. What is it that they want in return? And I think that's what I think. It's not really so much technology. Well, yeah, that's part of it too, the point zero energy and all that, to be able to create your own gravity, right? To be invisible. But I think, what do they need? So they must need something too. They're not going to travel all the way up here. They're not going to bend space and time to get here, so many light years ahead of us to come here. They need something. And we probably have something they need. And what is that they need? I think that's the biggest question. That a lot, and I'm surprised that nobody's asking that. Why are they here? What do they need? I'm not going to travel all the way out somewhere out there and I get nothing out of it. They need something. So I think that's the biggest secret. Sure, the secret of technology, back engineering, and all of that stuff. Sure, that's, of course, one part of it, probably. So one part of it. But I think the most secretive part, that second part, the secretive second part, is what they want. What do they need? And I don't honestly believe that this is so secretive that nobody knows. Like, I don't think anybody in Congress knows. I don't think President knows, because this is so secretive that there's maybe a handful of individuals that might know, but these handful of individuals, they swore an oath, and they know what happens to them if they break that oath, and they're certainly not going to do that. I'm just speculating. People ask me, does the president know? No, he doesn't. Believe me, Obama asked, Bill Clinton asked, Jimmy Carter asked. I think there was maybe only one president that might know, and he had some connections. I think that was Richard Nixon. Honestly, out of all the presidents, I'm telling you, out of all the presidents, President Trump doesn't know. They're not going to tell him jack shit. Believe me, he doesn't know. Okay? He really doesn't know, because they don't tell him. They're not going to tell him, ever, never. They're just going to lie to him. Just like they lied to previous presidents. They lied to Obama. They lied to Bill Clinton. They lied to all these. There's maybe two presidents. Two. Like, I say two. There were, like, given this info, there's maybe two. but they passed away. They're not here with us anymore. One is Richard Nixon. I'm pretty sure Richard Nixon knew. It's Richard Nixon. Second, it's senior George Bush. Yeah. Herbert Walker Bush Sr. Why? Because he was part of CIA. He was part of all these skull and bones secret societies. He was he was pretty high up. Who else might know right now? I think there's one more person that might know that's privy to this, and I would say Richard Cheney, Dick Cheney. But he'll take it to the grave. I think Dick Cheney probably knows, but he'll take it to the grave. He'll never tell you. Yeah, he'll take it to the grave. He'll never tell you. I think if there's a one person that might know out of everybody in the government, I would say Dick Cheney, because he was very close to Bush, senior Bush, and Does the junior knows? I don't think so. I don't think he told the son anything. He just probably told him, yeah, just do as I tell you. Go back to your ranch and work on your ranch. Have fun. Because he likes his farm, he likes his ranch, and whatever. Do the rancher stuff, And I don't think he really cares. I don't think the junior really cares that much about, the whole thing. So I think the only person that might know right now would be that's in politics, that's in government. I know he's retired, but he's still kind of connected to the government. I would say Dick Cheney probably would know. People say, what about all these other individuals like Bob Lazar? Yeah, Bob Lazar knows, but he was just an employee. He only knew about the craft. He doesn't know much other than that we have these crafts, and he was trying to back engineer it, but he failed. He couldn't back engineer it because apparently you need this element 115, which is a very rare element that creates this gravitational bubble of 0.0 energy field. So he doesn't know. But he did say to Art Bell, when he was talking to Art Bell, he did say to Art Bell that there was a debriefing or briefing or something prior to them taking him to the Site 4. Site 4 stands for S4. Took him to that mountain, that hill in Nevada, which is just north of Area 51, Groom Lake. And there was these 9 hangars that opened up, these giant 9 hangars that were buried underneath the mountain. And he saw these flying saucers. And then the funny thing is, Bob Lazar said, when I first saw these flying saucers, I said, you see, there's no aliens. This is just us. We created this technology. These are our crafts. They're top secrets. We don't want the Soviet Union to know about it. We don't want the Chinese and all the other enemies out there who don't like us to know about what we have, right? So we want to keep it top secret. And he was like, yeah, this is just our technology, man. There's no UFOs. There's no aliens. It's all But then this guy Barry that he was working with, he said to Art Bell, he showed him, hey, dude, this is not ours, But anyway, before he went to see these flying saucers, this is true story that Bob Lazar said, there was a briefing before they took them to this, 9 hangars and these 9 flying saucers. There was a briefing, and on this briefing, they had to read this briefing. And when they were reading these briefings, apparently, as far as Bob Lazar remembers, he says that he saw that these crafts, these flying saucer crafts, have been dig up. They didn't crash. Check that out. They didn't crash. They were dig up. They were dig up, and they seems to be they're old as an ancient civilization. They're like thousands and thousands of years old. So they've been buried for thousands of years. So the crafts that they dig up are ancient. Get that? Did you get that? They're ancient. So that right there just like changes everything, changes our history, the whole thing about the period, everything. It just changes everything, right? What were they doing here thousands of years ago? Now, again, he says that was in the briefing, and he doesn't know if that was, this is according to Bob Lazar, he doesn't know if they were testing him to see if he's like going to buy into that. It's like a psychological test. He thought maybe that was a psychological test to see how everybody's going to react about this, but maybe it wasn't. So he can't clarify whether it was true or fake. But that was on the booklet. The booklet briefing, like you go to the class, and there's some high-ranking, military, U.S. Air Force officer that would come in, and they would give you all this stuff to read, and you have to debrief, you have to read all this stuff, and then they would take you to the location. All these engineers, physicists, scientists, they would go in on this bus, and the bus would take him to this location. But he said when he was reading that, he was like, is this for real? Like, these flying saucers are ancient? They've been dated for like thousands of years when they dig them up. They were dig up. They didn't crash like 20 years ago or 30 years ago or 40 years ago or 50 years ago. They didn't just crash like 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago. They were found. They were buried for thousands of years, and they're dating back thousands of years. When he said that, it blew my mind, dude. It didn't just blow my mind, it blew Art Bell's mind. You guys know Art Bell, Coast to Coast AM. But even Joe Rogan, that famous Joe Rogan, Bob Lazar, interview podcast with Bob Lazar and Joe Rogan. Even Joe Rogan was like, "What?" And Bob was like, "Well, that's what it says when I was reading it on this booklet that they gave us, like like a booklet, like whenever you debriefed, when you go to the briefing or debriefing or whatever, you have to go through all this stuff you have to read, so they can prepare you, so you know what you're getting into. All right, so here, what you're going to be encountering when we go to these hangars, blah blah blah. This is what it is. And he was like, "Okay, all right." So pretty interesting stuff. Now, do I believe Bob Lazar? He's very articulate, dude. The guy, it's very articulate. He doesn't seem like he's a bullshitter, and he's certainly not making money off of this. He didn't make a penny, bro. Now, you could say for the individuals who are making money off of this and making documentaries and TV shows and promoting their books and their videos, and those guys are a bit sketchy. Those guys you got to be careful with, but not Bob Lazar, dude. I don't think Bob Lazar falls in that category, dude. I think he's legit. Remember, if it wasn't for the Bob Lazar, we would have never known about that Area 51. We would just never know. Okay? You know what I mean? And they would probably filter it out from the Google Maps, satellite maps, so you cannot see it. Because remember, they were denying it. Like, the government was denying that there's no such thing as Area 51 in the 80s. It wasn't until like early 90s when finally Bob Lazar came on scene, and he did that famous interview with George Knapp. You guys know who George Knapp is, right? The anchorman, a TV anchorman, news anchorman from Las Vegas, very famous back then in the 80s. and even early 90s, George Knapp in Las Vegas news station. So it wasn't until Bob Lazar blew the whistle. Like, hey guys, there is this military secretive U.S. Air Force installation, but it's not what you think it is. It's definitely something else in there going on. It's not like what he was trying to say. It's not your typical, like, U.S. Air Force military installation. This is like a very secretive, top secret military installation. U.S. Air Force military installation. And yeah, Bob Lazar, 100%, dude. He's telling the truth. There's no question about it. 100%. Yeah, Bob Lazar knows about it. I think there's maybe a handful of people that know about it, but I don't think everybody knows about it. Like to the full detail. Like I said, I think Richard Nixon absolutely knew about it. Actually, there was one more president that knew about it. I would say Eisenhower. I think Eisenhower. I don't think Look, I think Eisenhower, not only did he know, and this is honestly based on my research, not only did Eisenhower knew about them, but I'm pretty sure Eisenhower met them. Remember, there was the 7 days or so, 3 days he disappeared. Nobody knew where Eisenhower went. Some people said he had a problem with a tooth, like his tooth was hurting and he had to go to dentist or something. Right, quote unquote dentist, So he had to go through a procedure with a dentist. Then we hear this other story. There's these other documents that he actually went to specific meetings somewhere out there in I think it was in New Mexico. He went to New Mexico and there was this meeting or something that was supposed to take place, very classified meeting. What kind of a classified meeting are we talking about, man? So I think, yeah, there was some presidents that knew, but we're talking like Eisenhower, Richard Nixon for sure, senior Herbert Walker Bush, and I would say Dick Cheney probably knows. To a certain extent, he knows. But he's not going to tell you, of course. He's going to take it to the grave. He's not going to tell you, of course. He's all about secrecy. He's sworn to secrecy. He's part of the whole cabal, the whole, skull and bones, secret society, all that stuff. It's same thing with Freemasons, man. It's about secrecy. That's the whole thing about these clubs. It's about how can you keep a secret. Honestly, that's really what it is. It doesn't mean that they're bad people. It doesn't mean they're bad individuals just because I knew a lot of Freemasons. They were all nice to me. They were not like some evil creeps or whatever. But they're sworn secrecy, man. The knowledge is the power. Who else might know? Does the King Charles know? I think his mother knew, the Queen Elizabeth. His father, Prince, knew. But remember, both Queen and Prince, they're sworn secrecy. So I don't think they ever told him. So I don't think Charles knows about it. And I don't think so. I don't think they'll tell him, I don't think so. Because at one point, even he was wondering about it. But they're not going to tell him. They're going to lie to him, tell him, no such thing, blah, blah, blah. So this is my speculation based on the research that I have done. Like, who is the most credible to know about all of this? Did John F. Kennedy knew about it? No, he didn't. I don't think they told him. Well, they didn't like him. Let's just be honest here, man. They assassinated him. They killed him. They didn't like him to begin with. He had a lot of enemies, so that's why they killed him. Because the thing about John F. Kennedy, he didn't want to be part of the secrecy. He was against the secrecy. He spoke against the secrecy. They probably asked him to join the club, join the secrecy. And he said, nope, not me. And it cost him his life, dude. Again, this is my speculation. Secrecy is the big problem, dude, man. So much secrecies, bro. You know what I mean? And people are afraid to talk about it because it's such a sensitive subject. You know what I mean? That it's like next thing you know, you just disappear. You just disappear. What happened to you? Oh, he just disappeared. Well, we don't know. He's missing. It's a mystery. We'll never find him. Like Jimmy Hoffa, we'll never find him. It's a mystery. It'll never be solved. So people are afraid, man. They're afraid to talk about this stuff. Dr. Stephen Greer talks about this, and he said, why do you think they have these meetings in a skiff, in a very secure, compartmentalized information, facility, skiff, secretive compartmentalized information facility, skiff, right? You guys heard about skiff? Oh, I'm Air Force pilot, but I'll tell you in a skiff. What do you mean? Yeah, I flew the F-22, and I can't tell you much more than what I have encountered. I'll tell you I can't tell you publicly, but I'll tell you in a skiff. So what's the point of a hearing? I can't really tell you all the details. I'll tell you in a skiff. So these hearings, these congressional hearings, are a joke. I mean, no offense. Even Dr. Stephen Greer said, if you guys don't know who Dr. Stephen Greer is, please go, look him up, Dr. Stephen Greer. Even Dr. Stephen Greer is laughing at this like congressional hearing. It's a joke, man. Oh, I will tell you in a skiff. Like the congressmen are asking questions, right? And you swore an oath to tell the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God, right? Oh, I'll tell you in a skiff. All the Air Force pilots are like, I'll tell you in a skiff. All of the scientists and physicists, I'll tell you in a skiff. No, tell public now. Tell what you know. No, they can't. They're afraid. They're afraid for their life, man. It's a very sensitive stuff, and they cannot talk about it publicly. I'll tell you in a skiff. Okay, so you'll tell me in a skiff. Yeah, so the public will never be privy to what's being told in a skiff. So how is that being transparent if everything is in a skiff? That's secrecy. Oh, hey, listen, guys, I want to tell you something, but I can't say it publicly, but I'll tell you in a skiff. So you'll never know, guys. Like I said, there's maybe a handful of people that know. I think Dick Cheney knows, but he'll never tell you, because he's sworn secrecy. He'll never tell you. Don't expect him to tell you. He'll take it to the grave, just like Herbert Walker Bush Sr. took it to the grave, just like Richard Nixon. Richard Nixon took it to the grave. He never spoke about it. And of course, Eisenhower, Eisenhower took it to the grave. He never spoke about it. I think if anybody knew, like, in great detail, I would probably say Eisenhower knew in a great detail, man, on where these beings are, where they're coming from, what their agenda is, what their objective is to be here, what do they need in exchange, what kind of a treaty do we have with these beings, and et cetera, et cetera. And why did we make a treaty with them? I'm surprised that people don't understand this. That people don't understand this. Who runs the world? Who? The country that has the biggest stick. And who wields the biggest stick? Red, white, and blue. 50 stars. Star Spangled Banner. It's us. With a giant bald eagle. Okay? Alright. Okay. So we wield the biggest stick. Our enemies know that. Okay, Russia knows that, China knows that, India knows that, North Korea knows that, Middle East, they all know that. That we wield the biggest stick. Okay, and we do. We do wield the biggest stick. So why would we want to cooperate with these beings? It's a very simple. It's a simple answer. Would you rather that they cooperate with Russia or China? Or would you rather that they cooperate with us? Remember, this is during the Cold War. You think Eisenhower's going to let these beings cooperate with... Because they probably told us, hey, if you guys will not do this bidding with us, if you guys will not do this trade or this this treaty with us, then we'll just approach somebody else. We'll approach your enemies. We'll approach Soviet Union, and we'll make a deal with Soviet Union and give them the technology in exchange for what we need. So no, Eisenhower said, no, guys, we're making a deal with you. Yeah, absolutely. We'll even create bases, underground bases to house you guys. We have plenty of spaces in our country, in Alaska, in New Mexico, Nevada, Colorado, mountain ranges of Colorado. Don't worry, Montana. We got you guys covered. We'll give you the places to stay here. We'll give you the places to land. We also have places in Antarctica, in North Pole, and Greenland. So don't worry, we got you guys covered. But we'll make a treaty with you. We'll make a deal with you in exchange for what? See, that's the biggest secret that nobody knows. What do they need in exchange? I don't know. But it's so secretive that truth can never come out. What do they need in exchange? Now let your imagination go wild. What do they need in exchange? Why are there so many people missing? Have you ever heard about missing 411? All of a sudden people are missing. What's going on over here? Why all of a sudden people are missing? What's happening? No, they cannot be found. They just disappear without a trace. Huh? Now, I'm speculating. I don't know. I'm speculating, but let your imagination go wild. What do they need? Why they're here? All right? They're not going to travel all the way up here to create peace and love and harmony for us. No, they have their own interest. They discovered us and they need something from us. But we also need something from them too. We need technology. How do you think we built all of these stealth fighters? And did you look at these stealth fighters? They look like UFOs, don't they? Why do you think that is? Why do you think we have the oldest technology in the military that supersedes our enemies? Right? And where are we getting all of that stuff from? Where do you think that partnership's coming from? Exactly. Again, I'm just speculating. This is very sensitive shit, man. Speculations. There's just no proof. I can't prove this. But when you really think about it, even the Eisenhower kind of gave us a little tip after his final speech of his last term that he did. He said that the military-industrial complex will be on the rise. That means we'll be investing a lot of money into the military technology. And we'll be expanding it. And why do you think that is? And why do you think it's so rapidly expanding? Why do you think that the technology of the infrared and heat sensors and lasers was all of a sudden being available? That we are rapidly, from 1970s to 1980s, we were able to rapidly just move this technology so fast. Control the weather. Oh yeah, we can control the weather. There's HARP. Where do you think HARP came from? Right? Sure, Tesla has something to do with it. He certainly had discovered the way of doing that. But to finalize the HARP, of course, was the use of high frequency that these beings have helped us, right? They gave us that ability to use the higher frequency of light and speed. to manipulate the clouds and atmosphere, right? Oh, you don't think we create hurricanes? You don't think we create earthquakes? Okay. Okay, fine. So, guys, this secret has been buried for like 70 something, maybe longer than that. This secret has been buried for like 90 years, man. After the World War II, for like 90 years. For 90 years. Yeah, this secret has been buried for 90 years, man. But I just want to say this, and I know I'm speculating, and I know we're going down a rabbit hole. You will never, mark my words, I just want to say this. You will never, ever, never, ever, never, ever, never, ever, listen to my words, and listen to them very closely. Never, ever, never, ever, never, ever. You will never, ever know. They will never tell you the truth. They'll give you some made up, cooked up, phony lie. And you're going to buy into that lie. You're going to go with that lie. You're going to accept that lie. And that's it. But they're never going to tell you the original truth. Remember the word original truth. They're going to give you a different version of that truth. Made up version of that truth. And you're going to buy right into it. You will accept it. Like you accept everything. It's very easy for people to accept everything and move on. Oh, yeah. So, anyway, we went to the deep of the rabbit hole. We took the red pill. The Neo took the red pill. Yeah. Anyway, I don't like talking about this stuff, but, since it's on the news and, the UFO thing, it's now, I guess, a thing, so might as well talk about it, Like I said, there's a handful of people who know. Dick Cheney probably knows, but don't expect Dick Cheney to tell you. He'll just laugh. He'll say, "You guys seen way too many movies. Are you going to ask me a serious question?" Does Vladimir Putin knows? Yes, he knows. But if you ask Vladimir Putin what he's going to tell you, Durak, are you going to ask me a serious question or are you going to act like a clown? Huh? So they're not going to tell you, But so here's the thing. Putin might know about them, but he doesn't have technology from them that we have. And he's jealous that he doesn't have that technology. He's jealous. He is. He is jealous that we have that and he doesn't. And he'll never have it. Same thing with Xi Jinping. He's jealous that we have this technology and he doesn't have it. They're just butthurt, man. These leaders are butthurt that we wield the biggest stick and they know it. And they know it. And like I said, Richard Nixon knew about it. Herbert Walker Bush Sr. knew about it. Eisenhower, absolutely. He probably knew everything. If anybody knew everything, it was Eisenhower for sure. For sure it was the Eisenhower, man. But, he passed away, so he really... the dead people cannot speak. So, but Eisenhower knew about it for sure. But see, all of them took oath of secrecy, So don't expect Dick Cheney to tell you, oh, here's what I know. Because he took an oath to secrecy. But all the other presidents, they don't know. They're kept in the dark. I mean, Jimmy Carter, dude, tried, and they told him, nope. This is off limits. Like, forget about it. We're not telling you nothing. And he was the president of the United States, okay? Bill Clinton tried, and he said, it was in 1995. In 1995, says, well, folks, I asked them, and they didn't want to tell me. So I know as much as you. He said it. It's like he asked. Yeah, Bill Clinton, he asked. They closed the door on him, said, nope, we're not telling you jack shit. Obama tried, and they closed the door on him too. So, guys, presidents come and go. They do their 4-year term or 8-year term, 2 terms, and after 8 years, somebody else comes in. And then after that, somebody else comes in, and somebody else comes in, and somebody else comes in. There's always going to be somebody else. And they're not going to know the truth. They're never going to be told the truth. Didn't you guys understand the whole point of the X-Files? Like, it's funny because everybody's watching. I mean, a lot of people watch the X-Files, right? But I just find it so bizarre and so strange that a lot of people watched X-Files and they never understood what's the point of the character smoking a cigar. People had different opinions about him. You know, the guy smoking the cigar. Yeah, he's very secretive. But the whole symbol of the guy smoking a cigar, it's not that he's some evil prick or he's some evil demon or whatever. The whole point of the guy smoking a cigar is to tell you that you guys are wasting your time. Like Mulder, Agent Scully, and the director of the FBI, all of you guys are just wasting your time. You're never going to know. You're just going to hit a dead end. Dead end. There's boundaries, and you can never penetrate those boundaries. You're going to hit a dead end, and you're never going to know. And I think that was the whole point. That who's the creator of Chris Carter? Is it a Chris Carter? The creator of the X-Files? That's what he said. Yeah. He said that on a podcast. What's his name? The guy, Agent Mulder, the actor. Did you guys know that? The actor who played Agent Mulder, he's got a podcast. He's got a YouTube channel. You guys didn't know that? Okay, well, I'm telling you now. If you didn't know, I forgot his name. I'm sorry, I can't remember his name. The guy, the actor who played Agent Mulder, he's a good actor. He was also in Californication on a Showtime TV show. He's a great actor, but everybody knows him as Agent Mulder, of course. I can't remember his name. I'm sorry. He used to. He was a successful TV show in 1990s. Man, X-Files was the most watched TV show. Before that, it was Miami Vice, but after Miami Vice, it was the X-Files. The X-Files was #1 watched show on Fox every Sunday on Fox at 9 o'clock. I can't remember his name, so please forgive me, guys. If you know his name, you can write it down on the comments. So anyway, he has a podcast. He has a YouTube channel. The guy, the actor who played Agent Mulder. So he has a podcast. On his first episode of a podcast on his YouTube channel, because he has his own YouTube channel. On the podcast, he invited creator Chris Carter to come in on the show and to talk about the X-Files and how he got hired to play in the X-Files and Agent Mulder, and how Gillian Anderson also got hired in, and all of that. So, they were talking about that. And he asked him about, like, the guy with a cigar. Like, what was the whole point about the guy with a cigar? And it says the whole point of the whole symbol of the guy with the cigar was to tell you, you're never going to know. You can try all you want. You can try as hard as you want to try, but you're never going to penetrate that secrecy. You're never going to know the real truth. You're just going to be fed a made-up lie. And you're going to go with that made-up lie. You're going to get manipulated with that made-up lie. And there's going to be another version of that lie and another version of that lie. So he's there to remind Agent Scully and Agent Mulder that you guys are wasting your time. And I'm here just to tell you, while I'm smoking this cigar, Mr. Cigar Man, that you guys are wasting your time. You're never going to know. So guys, Don't expect anyone to tell you. No one's going to tell you. Nobody. So I just want to leave that subject at that. This whole thing about the UFOs and UAPs, right? Oh, they call them UAPs now. Unmanned. Whatever what it means. Unmanned, whatever. Projectiles, whatever they call it. Unmanned aerial projectiles or something. Unmanned aerial projectiles. UAPs. Which is another word of UFOs. Which is the same shit pretty much. It's unidentified. It's just, it sounds better when it's unmanned, you know. Well, then you could say the same thing for the drones. But the problem with the drones is they're controlled. So they are actually, there's no a human person inside a drone, but the drone is being operated by somebody sitting somewhere in some, you know, in some Air Force base somewhere. So you can't call them drones, so they call them unmanned aerial projectiles. I like to call it UFOs. It's unidentified flying object, because that's what it is. It's unidentified, and it's flying, and it's an object. That's what it is. That's, if you want to be factual, if you want to stick with the facts, it's unidentified flying object. So don't expect anyone to tell you all of this congressional hearings. It's honestly, it's a joke. It's really a joke. I watched some of these congressional hearings. Like, it's a nothing burger. Oh, I can't really talk about in great detail. I'll tell you in a skiff. Yeah, I'm sorry. I can't really tell you the details. Can you show us any photos? I cannot show it to you here. I'll show it to you in a skiff. Everybody's just saying the same thing. Oh, I'll talk about it in a skiff in a great detail. Okay, so if everything it's talked in a skiff, so then what's the point of having these hearings? It's a joke, man. It's like Dr. Stephen Greer says, it's just a joke, you know. So anyway, enough talk about the UFOs. Just remember, you'll never know the truth. No one's going to tell you the truth about the UFOs, about the aliens. No one's going to tell you the truth about what's inside these mountains, what other creatures live in there. No one's going to tell you about the Sasquatches and what kind of species are Sasquatches and why they're in the forest. Are they prehistoric? How did they survive? Etc., etc. No one's going to tell you jack shit. Okay? What about the paranormal activities? What are these entities? Do spirits pass on when they die? Do spirits pass on from a dead body? And do they stay somewhere out there in a limbo, or do they go to another dimension? What happens to them? How does that work? And can you communicate with the spirits, etc., etc.? All that stuff. No one's going to tell you jack shit. Really, no one's going to tell you. So if you think that you're going to find the truth, let me be the guy with a cigar. Good luck. Good luck. You'll never know. But it's entertaining. You know, it's entertaining to talk about it, and people make money off of it. That's why people talk about it, because it's a very intriguing subject that brings a lot of attention, that brings a lot of clickbaits. And of course, it's all about the clickbaits. Everything's transactional. Everything's about the money, right? I talked about that yesterday when I was playing FC26. Everything's transactional. Everything's about, hey, how can I profit money, right? Everything's about the money. So it's all about, you know, selling books. And that's what these guys are doing, man. Yeah, did you read my new book? Oh, man, there's so much detail in there. Yeah. Did you go to my seminar? It's $100 to get in. You also have to pay for your own parking. You have to pay for the food as well. But you'll have so much knowledge when you go there for $100. Did you buy your tickets? Buy the tickets right now. You can also buy my merchandise when you go there. You can buy my book. Yeah, buy my book. Oh, and also subscribe to my podcast for only, you know, $12 a month, you can subscribe to my podcast. Now, if you want to have a premium subscription, which is $20 a month, on that premium subscription, I can give you even more details. The stuff that I don't talk about on that basic subscription, you know. So everything's transactional. Everything's about the money. And people, of course, they're so naive. They're going to subscribe. They're going to buy into that bullshit. And what they don't understand, that these individuals, they're doing it for the money. They're making money, man. They're making good money. They're enjoying life. They put on an acting face in front of the camera, but they're really... Did you see how they live? Driving these fancy cars, having these fancy places, fancy getaways of fancy, you know, cabins and fancy mansions and fancy cars, and they're all driving Teslas, and they're all driving these super expensive trucks, and they're all driving these Bentleys and Mercedes, and yeah, where's the money coming from? Always follow the money, guys. Oh yeah, where's the money coming from? Exactly. So follow the money. So remember, guys, it's all transactional. These guys, they're phonies. They don't know. They're just talking out of their hairy ass. They don't know the truth. They're just making shit up. They're making shit up, and they're putting all this, you know, act. They're good actors. They're really well-trained actors. Actually, when I was a sales agent, first thing they teach me, you need to be a great actor. Convincing actor. You gotta be a great actor. And believe me, I can be a really good actor. I think I had proven that. People who know me, oh yeah, I can be the best. Give me the Oscar right now. Yeah, give me that Oscar right now. But that's what they want. That's what they're looking for. That's what makes them money. He's a good actor. A good actor will keep you intrigued. And then you're going to believe it. You know, Billy Bob Joe Six Packs, Budweiser, you know, and Mary out there, you know, that spends most of her time going to the shopping malls and buying stuff, or going to the Walmart or whatever, or Home Depot. You know, that's who's like watching that crap. Yeah, I believe him. I believe what he's saying. I'm a huge fan. I'm just want to say I believe him. I bought all of his books. I listened to all of his audio tapes. I believe him. And of course, and they go to these seminars and they buy these tickets and they're clap, yeah. Wow. They're all transactional. They're all making money, guys. It's a big money maker, man. Conspiracy theories are a big money maker. Actually, the secret society loves conspiracy theories because conspiracy theory helps them keep the real secret in a plain sight. You get it? That's why secret societies, they encourage you. Yeah, go talk about conspiracy theories. Go. Please do us a favor. Because when you do that, when you talk about conspiracies, then you are burying the real truth. And the real truth, they can put it out there in front of you and you won't even know it. They could put it in a plain sight for you, but you will never know it because you are so confused with so many conspiracies now that you don't know what to believe. Your brain is all over the place now. It's confused. You see, guys, I know you're going to say, but your friends were Freemasons. So yes, I still have friends who are Freemasons, and I cannot mention their names. But they were very nice to me. They were my mentors. Freemasons were my mentors. They really helped me like find God and find like not just God, because they want you to believe in an architect, any kind of architect of the universe. You have to believe in that. They need you to believe in that. But they really kind of helped me be on that balanced road. To stay on that balanced road. And what I know, knowing what I know, I'm able to function better than majority of you guys. I know, I don't have to know so. I mean, I know that for a fact. that I'm going to go through this life much easier and better than most of you guys. Some of you will go crazy. Some of you will go mental. Some of you won't be able to handle it. You see, I'm at the level that I'm at the level at. I can handle anything and everything. Okay? Because knowing what I know, the knowledge that I have, and what I have experienced, and what I know, makes it so much easier for me to navigate. So what does that mean? That means there's nothing you can tell me that's going to go under my skin. There's nothing you can say to me that's going to shock me. There's nothing you can do to me that's going to give me a panic attack. Pretty much nothing will bother me. Because I'm way ahead of you guys. I already know what I know. And once you know what I know, honestly, nothing will bother you. People say, but sometimes you get frustrated. Yeah, I do get frustrated because I want people to help this channel. I want people to help this channel grow. So there's a little bit of frustration there. But I'm not like desperate. I could quit YouTube today and never come back. And I'm still going to be okay. Did you just hear what I said? Do you want me to repeat what I just said? Okay, I'll repeat what I just said. I could walk away from, this could be my last live stream. I could walk away from it today and never touch a YouTube, never get in touch with nobody, and I'll be okay. I'm not desperate for this. I'm not desperate for the attention. I'm not desperate for acceptance, to be accepted. I'm not desperate for needing friends. People come to me. I don't come to people. People come to me. Let's just make that very clear. People come to me. They're asking me for a friendship. I don't go around asking for friendships. Okay? People levitate towards me. So I'm not here seeking the approval or the green light or, oh, I got the approval or whatever. See, guys, I could quit this channel today. Walk away from it. And you'll never see me again. You might wonder about me, but you'll never know where I'm at and what I'm doing. But guess what? I'll be fine. I'll be perfectly fine. So that's the level I'm at. But you guys are not in that level. You guys are at the emotional level. Your vibration density, you don't even understand the density. There's different densities of levels. See, the word density, you don't even understand what that is. What that mass of density is. And you guys are on a very low frequency density level. And that density level frequency that you guys are on, it's a very low level. I'm not going to tell you what density frequency level I'm at because why would I tell you for free? I'm not going to tell you shit for free. Why would I? Why would I tell you anything? I'm going to tell you what I am going to tell you. And that's as far as it's going to go. So you guys are on a very emotional density level. What does that mean? That means you're easily breakable. You're easily manipulated. You're easily controlled. Because everything, it's emotional. The way your emotions are connected to your brain and your mind are very emotional. If I approach you and I'm being negative to you, you're going to get emotional immediately. I'm going to affect you. When you approach me and you're being negative towards me, doesn't bother me one bit. I'll just smile at you. I'll give you this little smile. But you guys are very emotional. You're on that, and it's not your fault because you're programmed to be on that lower level density, the frequency. Nikola Tesla talked about that, the level of frequency. It's all frequency. How do you communicate with a spirit? It's through frequency of density levels. Just because your eyes don't see it doesn't mean that it's not there. But it's a frequency level. The naked eye cannot see that frequency. Nikola Tesla talked about this. All right. You see, I'm already telling you stuff that you never even knew about. So the density level, what is that? It's the frequency level on which your mind and body and your emotions and your spirit it's operating at. What level is your spirit operating at? The lower the level, the more emotional you are. The higher the level, the more stable you are. You heard that word, oh, I have a thick skin. Yeah, those individuals are at the higher density level. They're at the higher density level, so you cannot penetrate them. You could try. Like Keanu Reeves, it's on a higher density level. You think you can get Keanu upset? Go ahead. No, go and try. You can call him names. You can spit in his face. You can say all kinds of nasty things to him. It's not going to bother him. Do you want to know why it won't bother Keanu? Because Keanu himself, it's also at a higher density level. Now, if I get upset, I'm putting on a show. Like yesterday, I got upset. Do you want to know why? Because I want to put on a show. To create a content. Does it really mean I'm upset? No, I'm not upset. After I finished that live stream, I was enjoying myself. I was really enjoying myself. I was having a good time. Okay? So, I'm a good actor. I can create a good content by making you believe that I'm upset. And you're going to buy right into it. Why do you buy right into it? Because you're on a very lower density level. So you are attracted to the emotions. You're attracted to the body language. You know, you look at this body language and these eyes, and you're thinking, oh, is he angry? Is he this? Is he that? All of these things goes through your mind. That's because you're on a lower level. You're not on a telepathical level. I'm on a telepathical level, dude. I can read you guys' minds. You're not going to bullshit me. All right. So you guys are on a lower level. You're on a very low level, guys. Because you're on an emotional level. And it's easy for me to control people who are on an emotional level. Now, I don't do it because it's wrong. It is wrong to manipulate another human being. That's the laws of universe. And these laws of universe I respect. I would never manipulate another human being. Unless it's an asshole. Unless you're a real prick. And you're a real asshole and you need to be taught a lesson. Maybe I'll manipulate you a little bit. Just to kind of show you what you did wrong. To give you basically a taste of your own medicine. Okay, you gave me this medicine. I want to show you how rotten and negative this medicine is that you gave to me. Okay. But I would never like manipulate somebody to make them go crazy or to make them do something to themselves or hurt themselves. I would never manipulate people to that level because that's wrong on so many levels. I would never do that. You know, because I respect the laws of universe. You know, what I try to do is I try to project positivity into people's minds. Everything that I do here, and I talked about it all the time. Why am I so different than all the other YouTubers? Because I try to project positivity. I don't try to project negativity. It would be so easy for me to open that Pandora box of negativity and inject all kinds of darkness of negativity. But that's the wrong thing to do. And it's against the universe law. So, yes, the universe has a law. Yeah. And so I try to inject the positivity. Let me inject some positivity into your mind. Because you guys are on a very low emotional density level. And you guys are pretending. You guys are masking the problem. You guys are looking for something to mask your emotional levels. So you're playing video games. You're buying movies. You are finding a hobby to do something. And there's nothing wrong with that. You need a hobby. You need something to help you ease the pain of what you're dealing with. But you're not getting to the core. It's like Tom Cruise says. You're not to the... well, he's on the higher density level That's why he's with Scientology. So you guys are just masking the problem. You're not fixing the problem. That's why you're always going to stay at that emotional density. Like women, oh God, females. Not all of them, but my goodness. My goodness. The low level of emotional, like there's such a low density level of emotions. It's unbelievable. Believe me, it's unbelievable. It's kind of scary though, and it really, it's really, it's sad to see that they're at such level, because they're subscribed to this idea of, you know, feminism and female power and all this crap, you know. So they buy into that crap because they felt that they were a victim. Because women back then were just housewives and kitchen, keep them in the kitchen, you know. So they, you know, they have this notion that women needs to, well, women are free, no more free than the males are free. Females and males are free. Okay, what's stopping you from becoming a doctor? What's stopping you from becoming a police officer? What's stopping you from becoming a pilot? So this notion that the females don't have any power, what are you talking about? You have as much power as the man. Okay, but biologically we're different because of our hormones. Your job is to reproduce. Our job is to give you the semen to reproduce. So we have the advantage on that. But we also need you to reproduce. So the nature created it that way. That's why we have Adam and Eve. But I don't want to go into the whole subject of that. But what I'm simply trying to say is both sexes are operating at a very low density level, which is the emotional level. That's why people are so angry. Why are you so angry? Why is everything bothering you? Why are you so upset? Why are you so pissed off? Because you're operating on a very low density level. Remember what I just said, the density level. Very low density level, guys. And how do you get to the higher density level? It took me 35 years. Because when I was younger, I was a knucklehead. I was an idiot. I mean, I was a handsome idiot, but idiot nonetheless. Really an idiot. Some stupidity, some stupid shit I've done, you know. But luckily, I was introduced to very good mentors. And I really needed the mentors in my life. And some of these mentors that I met, which some of them are Freemasons, and I already said that, yes. And I want to say this, Freemasons has been nothing but good to me. I never became one of them. Believe me, they asked me. I said no, and they respected my decision. Because I don't want to belong to any group. Because it requires secrecy and oath. I don't want to do that. So, because I know myself, I have a big mouth. I can't keep a secret. I'm too honest, you know. And they understood, okay, we get it, you know. But they were nice to me. I mean, they were really nice to me. I mean, I can't say nothing bad about Freemasons. They've been really nice to me. They reach out to me and they help me out. And they told me certain things which I cannot repeat here. And I will never repeat it publicly ever. Not even in a skiff. Not even in a skiff. Because I have a lot of respect for them. It's a matter of respect, you know, and trust. But the stuff that they told me, things that they opened my eyes with, you know, really, I'm grateful for, honestly, because I don't know how I would be able to handle myself with everything that's going on around the world, all of these emotions, everything. It would be really hard for me, man. It would be very, very hard. And this is why it's so hard for you guys. You know, with everything that's been going around, all of this craziness that's been happening lately, it's a lot to take in. It's a lot to process. So when you're at that lower level of a density, of that emotions. Think of your mind as different density levels. Your mind, okay, whether you want to believe it or don't believe it, that's fine. Your mind, it's connected to the universe. Now, forget about your suit. This is your suit. This body, this skeleton, it's your suit. You need this suit to operate in this planet, in this environment. Okay. So, forget about the suit. All right. It's going to go away. You're going to pass away. And this suit will be just a skeleton. All right. Whatever is remain of it. So you're just a suit. This is just a suit. Your spirit is your mind. And your spirit is right up here and in here. It's connected. And between here and here, there's different density levels. And these density levels are connected to the universe. All right? And it's how you are able to overcome those density levels, to reach to a higher density level. But if you're still at that lower density level, then you are emotional. You will always feel emotional. People say, but isn't emotion part of being a human? Yes, it's part of being human. But that same emotion has a layer of levels that can be balanced, that can be controlled. That means you don't have to act on every emotion. You don't have to get upset about everything. But if you are at a very lower level, which is the vulnerable level of that density level of that emotion, well, guess what? Then you're easily manipulated. You're easily going to be pissed off. Everything will piss you off. Someone says something to you, it'll piss you off. Somebody said something wrong to you, you're going to react. And it's going to affect you in a very negative way. It's going to affect you so much that you won't be able to function throughout the day. You're going to be so tired, you're going to have to go to sleep. Because it's going to bother you so much. It's going to drain your energy. It's an energy drainer when you're at that lower level. That's what it does. It drains your spirit energy. You don't think you're an energy? Yes, you are. How do you think this planet operates? It operates on an energy. Oh, you didn't know that either, did you? Oh, God. There's so much you guys don't know. So much. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. Anyway, I gotta go. I gotta eat my breakfast. Thank you guys for listening to this, and I'll see you guys later. Take care.